Hi YouTube, welcome to video number 5. In this video we're going to do a few server maintenance items, get the Wi-Fi turned on, create a config file for your Bitcoin D blockchain, and then configure your Bitcoin wallet. Also, been told that my audio has not been too good, and I agree, so I went out and bought a microphone that cost a little more than $5, so hopefully this is an improvement. So at this point, you should probably have a fully downloaded and running blockchain via Bitcoin D on your server. Go ahead and log into your server and have a look at the splash screen. You'll probably notice the server needs some updates, so let's just knock those out. Before we install the updates though, let's first properly shut down Bitcoin D since a reboot will be happening. We don't want to corrupt the database, so a proper shutdown is needed. In a future video, we'll automate all this. Go into your Bitcoin bin directory and type the following. Change into that directory. And we're going to stop Bitcoin D. And it says it's stopping. Let's check it out. You can kind of see right here it's in B-shutdown. As soon as this removes itself, we'll know that it's shut down properly. Alright, so it looks like it's done, so in order to exit out of the top, we just hit the letter Q. Next, we'll go into the Bitcoin hidden directory. We're going to type the following. Remember, the hidden directories begin with a period. And let's use the skills that we've learned in previous videos to create a configuration file with Vi called bitcoin.conf. So we're going to sudo vi bitcoin.conf. That's our sudo password. Usually you have to put the password in once every, I don't know if there's a time limit on it, but you just have to do it once every now and then. And if you recall, we're going to hit the insert button on our keyboard, and here's what we're going to paste into this file right here. And to save the file, we'll hit escape to get out of insert mode, :WQ enter, and that saves it. So real quick, let's talk about the IP address that's in here and the username password. The username and password are up to you and do not need to be the same as your Ubuntu server login account. They can be completely different. We'll need these later for the mining software. The mining software is what we'll need to know the username and password. Now, for the allow IP address, I'm allowing my entire home network. I don't know what your home network is, but you can probably have an idea by what IP address is currently assigned to your computers on your home network. So for example, if the IP address on your computer at home is something like 192.168.1.x, where x is some random number, then your network should be 192.168.1.0/24, so regardless of what x is. A couple other popular ones here we can talk about, same kind of thing. If your network address at home is, instead of 1.x, it's 0.x, then you can use 192.168.0.0/24 as your network. Or maybe you're using an IP address in the 10 range. So you might have a network that starts with 10.0.0.x, where x is some random number. Do it the same way, where you would have 10.0.0.0/24. Now, I know I'm being overly simplistic here with this explanation, but this is not really a lesson for network IP addresses and cedar blocks, so I'll ask that the network engineers out there just forgive me on this one, but this should be enough to get the average person going if you're not network literate. We saved the file, and before we can reactivate Bitcoin D, let's go ahead and do the server updates and reboot first. So we're going to type the following in. And just kind of let it do its thing. This could take a few minutes. Alright, looks like that finally stopped, so let's go ahead and do a reboot. Log back in. You can now re-enable Bitcoin D blockchain. Go into your home directory by typing in cd/home/bitcoin/bitcoin 0.210. And we can do the start me file that we created. It's starting. And you can always verify that it's working by checking top or the debug file as pointed out in previous videos. So next, let's get the Wi-Fi configured so you can unplug the Ethernet cable if you want to. Starting with Ubuntu 20.10, a package called WPA Supplicant is already installed for you. If you don't have this because you're running an older version of Ubuntu, you can install it by typing in sudo apt install WPA Supplicant. And I would just go ahead and just run this no matter what version you're using, just to be sure. It's not going to hurt anything if it's already installed. Oops, spelled it wrong. And it's basically saying that the newest version is already installed. Next, let's install two other network utilities that we're going to need. Wireless tools. And then net tools. Alright, so next we need to find out the name of your Wi-Fi hardware device as seen by Ubuntu. If you're running the Raspberry Pi, I already know that will be called WLAN 0, but if you're running on a different computer, it might be called something else, such as WLP2S0. So we're going to type in to find out ls/sys/clash/net. And you can kind of see it right there. For your wireless is WLAN 0. Now let's change directories to etc netplan by typing in cd/etc netplan. Enter. Now there should be a single file in this directory. If you're using the Raspberry Pi with the newest Ubuntu, it's probably called 50-cloud-init-yaml. On other versions I've seen 00-installer-config.yaml. Either file's fine. We're going to edit this file, but before we do, I must stress here that when you edit this file, that the spacing is incredibly important. If you have one space in this file not correct, your Wi-Fi is not going to work. The spacing can either be 2 spaces or 4 spaces. So we're going to use the skills that you learned from the project's the previous videos, and use Vi as your editor. So we're going to add the following to the file, which is right here. You're going to put in your access point name and password inside of the quotes, and after you've added this, your full file should look like this. Do you see how everything is lined up? Notice how the first line that you added called Wi-Fi's is directly under the line that says version:2. Line yours up this way. Now we're going to run the following. Sudo netplan debug generate. And then sudo netplan apply. Now we're going to check and see if the Wi-Fi is actually working by typing in IP space A. Enter. And what we're looking for here is in number 3, WLAN 0. Might have to give it a few seconds. Right now it shows it down. So I had to pause the video. I'm not really sure why. When I typed in IP space A the first time, it didn't work, but I don't know. A minute or two went by, and now it seems to be working okay. I don't know what that's all about. But as you can see, it did pull down a new IP address for the Wi-Fi. You can tell that's how it's working. One note on mine. I didn't have any luck with 2.4 gigahertz, but it worked fine with 5.0 gigahertz on the same access point. I'm not really sure if some additional configuration would be needed for an older access point, which is what I have, running the 2.4 gigahertz or not, but I just left it as it is at 5 gigahertz. It works fine. So now finally, let's get your wallet configured and create your first address inside the wallet so you can receive your first Bitcoin reward should you ever solve a block. And by the way, if any of you ever do solve a block, I want to know about it. So please let me know in comments or email or something. I'd love to know about it. So next, these next commands, we're going to be sure not to use sudo here. We want the proper permissions to our user that we created on this wallet. So we're going to go into the Bitcoin bind folder. We'll type in cd space home slash Bitcoin slash Bitcoin 0.21.0 slash bind, like we've done before. And now type in /Bitcoin CLI space create wallet space lottery. And you can use any name you want here instead of lottery. That's just what I used, but whatever you want to use. So let's check it. We're going to use the get wallet info. And you can see your wallet in there and all the details about it. So next, let's load our newly created wallet. I guess it's already loaded. So after the wallet's loaded, let's create a new address inside of our wallet to be used for receiving coins. There it is. Now, I labeled my address as the word mined. You can call it whatever you want. We will need this address later when we start mining. We will tell the mining software this address to send a reward of coins to if we should solve a block. So let's check our Bitcoin balance, which of course should be 0. And it is. And this next one will show us all the addresses that are created inside of this wallet, which of course should just be the one at the moment that we just created. There it is. That's it for this video. In the next video, we start mining.